So that doesn't quite work. Instead, we'll just do it piece by piece. So we'll use a for each loop instead. So we'll say for each loop, we'll run over, well, I'll show you. We're gonna run over each one of these pieces and then do a partial point deform. We're gonna do a capture. Knowing that this is an issue that comes up, you can just do capture and then just do deform instead of capture and deform. So we're gonna do a capture in this thing and do it per piece. All right, so the way we'll actually do pieces though will be based off of the cat or rig IDs from here. So we have if we take a look at them and we view them, they're kind of all over the place, but they are still distinct. There's still 9 different ones, or 10, I guess, different cat or rig IDs. So we'll hook it up to here. We'll go here and we'll say, don't use name, use cat or rig IDs. And sure enough, it did 10 iterations, 1 for each of these guys. But what's nice here too is that if I go up to this, I go to the beginning of the for loop, I say create meta import node. Create meta import node will tell me, not only will it tell me what iteration it's on, so every time when I'm in the for loop, I can talk to this node. I can ask for his detail properties and say, hey, what iteration are you on? What iteration are you on now? If I ask for the value, it'll tell me the cat or rig ID that I'm currently on. So what's the use of that? Well, here I am iterating on this thing, right? The static deformable one. But I could say, hey, while I'm in here, I'm going to isolate something from this. I'm going to say, hey, give me the cat or rig ID of this guy. And we'll say based off of this meta import thing. So, whoops. So I'm saying, give me that value here like that. So now I can say delete not selected. And no dice. And it turns out I had to stop the lesson again just to see that it's cat or rig IDs, which I knew would come back to haunt me again, and it did. Anyway, isofrac. So we'll call it something like that. Make sure this is set to capture. And we'll just plug that in here and plug that in there. So we're basically going to take this. It sits on top of that in world space. And it says find the nearest points. And it stores them as some new attributes. Captured points, captured weights. So it's basically going to do that for all of them. And then we can just more or less copy this whole thing. And it'll only need to do this once, which is the nice thing, because this is it, you know, at the origin. So we won't have to keep recapturing it. We'll only have to recalculate the place that it goes, the deformed place. So we'll say this will now draw from here instead, like that. And this will actually point to here. So this is the rest point one, this is the deform point one. And this will need to be set to deform now. And so now that should be it. So let's take a look. So there's all the scraggly pieces. And of course, this would never look good in a render unless it was moving quickly. Whereas this looks like twisted metal. So we have the original solid surface denting and staying dented like that. And that does look good, especially once it has materials and lighting and all that stuff. So let's just let's make a quick little movie of just that, just to make sure that it's all working correctly. They can see it dented, it stayed dented, stuff's flying around, looking good. Awesome. Blunk, blunk, blunk. Cool. We had to an error out here because we came to the end of the frame range, but that's fine. Awesome. So that worked like a charm.